Stop assuming danger looks dangerous. It doesn't shout. It doesn't glare. It smiles. It laughs at your jokes, asks how your mother's doing, memorizes the cracks in your voice so it knows exactly where to press when it's time. It doesn't knock down your walls. It waits for you to open the door. And you do, because you think connection is safety. It's not. In this world, the most effective predators don't chase. They charm. They mirror. They wait. You think you're building trust. They're gathering intel. Every story you told in confidence becomes a blueprint, a manual for destruction with your fingerprints all over it. That's how betrayal works now. It doesn't come in shouting matches. It comes in shared playlists, late-night calls. Talk to me, I'm here for you. And then one day, they're not. They vanish, or worse, they stay, but twisted. They echo your words back to you with venom. They weaponize the vulnerability you gave them in good faith. And they don't need to raise a hand to ruin you. They just need to know where you bleed. You thought opening up made you brave. It made you available. And availability is liability. This isn't about paranoia. This is about precision. You don't need to be paranoid. You need to be unreadable. The world doesn't reward your truth. It studies it, tests it, pokes it like a bruise to see if it still hurts. This is not about becoming cold. It's about becoming controlled. Measured, intentional. People say be yourself. But what they don't say is, only when it's safe. Only when you've earned the right audience. Because most people aren't listening to understand. They're listening for an angle. They're not hearing your pain. They're calculating your pattern. You ever wonder why certain people always seem to fall apart in front of the wrong crowd? Why their breakdown becomes public property? It's because they confuse exposure with healing. But exposure isn't healing. It's currency. And when you spend it on the wrong people, they don't return change. They return control. Understand, in this game, looking fragile is all it takes to become a target. Not being weak, just looking weak. And perception is enough. They won't hit you when you're drowning. They'll wait until your head's barely above water, when you're smiling again, but just enough to be believable. That's when they strike. Because you're not guarded, you're just tired. Tired enough to miss the warning signs. Tired enough to say too much again. Don't let that happen. The truth? Most people don't even need a reason to break you. They just need an opportunity, and you're the one giving it to them every time you overshare. Every time you post the wound before it scars. Every time you trust too fast, too freely. It's not about fear, it's about defense. Not hiding, protecting. This world runs on assumptions, so build the right ones. Build an image they can't decode, a presence that makes them second-guess their instincts. Power doesn't need volume, it needs silence. It's not about being unbreakable, it's about making them wonder if trying would be worth the consequences. You want to be respected? Let them feel a question mark around you. Let them sense you, not read you. That's the edge. Because when you're easy to understand, you're easy to use. When your rhythm is public, anyone can choreograph your downfall. Control access, guard your energy. Don't just monitor your words, monitor your visibility. Keep the most valuable parts of yourself behind lock and key, because not everyone deserves access. And once they have it, they rarely give it back. And no, this isn't about being fake. It's about being strategic, not dishonest, disciplined. Being real doesn't mean being reckless. Being open doesn't mean being transparent. Start asking yourself, does this person earn the right to know that about me? Have they proven they can carry what I'm about to say? If the answer is anything less than absolute, stay silent, speak less, watch more. Because when you speak, you give shape to your thoughts, and the wrong listener will sharpen them into weapons. The strongest presence in the room is usually the one saying the least. Not because they're empty, but because they're calculating, reading the temperature, tracking patterns, waiting to move with intent, not emotion. Emotion gives away timing, and in a world like this, timing is power. Don't let your emotions drive your decisions. Emotional decisions are visible, trackable, predictable. They give your enemies a script. And once they know your pattern, they control the outcome, not you. Move like strategy, not impulse, not reaction. Every step you take should ask one question: does this protect my peace or forfeit it? People who need to be liked are easy to cage. Because the second someone senses that need, they don't give you attention. They ration it. They become the supplier of your self-worth. And if they control the supply, they own you. Cut the leash. Approval is not the goal. Control is. Control over how you respond, how you reveal, how you recover. Let them wonder if they ever really knew you. Let them question the version they had access to. Because when they can't define you, they can't aim properly. And when they can't aim, they don't shoot. Your boundaries are your armor. And the tighter the armor, the less room there is for a knife to slide in disguised as intimacy. Guard your time. Guard your space. Guard your narrative. Access isn't kindness, it's currency. And overspending it on the wrong people will bankrupt your identity. Remember this: every overshare is a breadcrumb. Every breadcrumb builds a trail, and someone out there is tracing it, not to find you, but to unmake you. So stop leaving trails. Let your silence carry weight. Let your absence raise questions. Let your presence do what words never can: create hesitation. Because that hesitation, that brief flicker of doubt in their mind, that's where real dominance begins. When they pause before speaking to you, before testing you, before assuming they know you, you've already won half the battle. Control doesn't need to yell, it only needs to be felt. And the best way to be felt is not to be everywhere. Move like smoke, present but impossible to grab, calculated, untouchable. Because here's the truth most people ignore. You don't lose power in collapse. You lose it in pieces, small leaks. That text you shouldn't have sent, that apology you didn't owe, that vulnerability handed to someone who didn't earn it. And suddenly, they have a map of your triggers, your insecurities, your emotional shortcuts. You gave it to them. Now they use it. This isn't just psychological warfare. It's identity sabotage, and it happens quietly. No explosion, just erosion. Until you look in the mirror and wonder when you stopped being the version of you that felt unshakable. Here's how you reclaim it. 1. Speak less. Watch more. Let others reveal themselves while you observe. Silence gives you the upper hand. Talking gives away position. 2. Strip emotion from your moves. Be deliberate. Be exact. Make decisions that align with your vision, not your feelings. Because emotion fades. Consequences don't. 3. Stop seeking to be liked. That's bait. People will use that need against you until you forget who you are. You don't need to be liked. You need to be respected. And respect starts when you don't flinch at rejection. 5. Control your visibility. People shouldn't know your routine. They shouldn't predict your responses. They should second-guess themselves around you. That's how you create presence. 5. Redefine power. It's not about being loud or aggressive or dominant. It's about being unreadable. So stop performing. Start designing. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming someone they can't reduce. You don't need to prove your strength. You need to remove their ability to question it. Let them label you cold. Let them call you distant. You're not cold. You're controlled. You're not distant. You're disciplined. And most of all, you're done bleeding in front of people who clap when you fall. Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Stop thinking everyone deserves access to the parts of you that cost the most to build. This is how you evolve. You remove the need to be understood. You stop giving people the emotional ammunition they need to destroy you. You build an image that raises eyebrows, not sympathy. You move like someone who knows the value of privacy in a world addicted to performance. You treat your silence like a fortress. And when people finally notice they can't read you, they respect you or they fear you. Either way, they hesitate. And that hesitation is your leverage. Let them think you're mysterious. Let them say you've changed. You have. You stopped making your trauma their entertainment. You stopped handing out pieces of your identity like business cards. You stopped being an open book. Now you're a locked vault, and only the worthy get a key. So here's your final commandment. Project only what protects. Reveal only what empowers. Let everything else stay buried in silence and strategy, because in a world this loud, mystery is your weapon. And silence, when wielded correctly, is the loudest form of power. Welcome to the other side, the side where control isn't announced, it's felt. Where dominance doesn't shout, it moves. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be impossible to undo. This isn't armor, it's evolution. Now gun, and let them wonder what you're capable of. If you've made it this far, you're not just scrolling, you're searching for something deeper. Thanks for trusting me with your mind. If this spoke to you, like the video, hit subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to reclaim their power. Until next time, stay sharp and think deeper.